In this video, I'm going to explain to you the first step that you need to do before you analyze any chart. And the first step for applying the wave principle is to differentiate an impulsive movement or a corrective movement. I have explained until now the basics of what the wave principle is about. The wave principle states that the price moves in impulses and corrections. So we need to identify which one of them is actually happening. And one of the way we can actually apply this is by watching the movements, if it moves up or down, and then if it goes the other way, but slowly, less angle. It's not like this. You are actually looking at something like this, like a ladder. And that's when we can see with our eyes the difference between an impulsive or corrective movement. This is impulsive, this is corrective, this is impulsive, this is corrective, this is impulsive, corrective, impulsive, corrective, impulsive. And the only difference between them is the size, the proportions, and the time that it takes until the next impulse. The smaller it is, the smaller the degree we are in. And we are going to talk about that just in a moment. So this can help us identify if a movement is corrective or impulsive, as if we were watching a clock. Impulsive waves are very fast and sloppy, sharp movement with long candles. Take a look at their angle, for example here, 80 degrees. Corrective waves are slow and sideways, sometimes moving slowly against the main trend. That's when we know we are watching at wave A, our first wave counter trend, going against the impulse. That's our A. B is going to try again to go the same way as the impulse, but it doesn't do it. And C is the last try of turning around, and that is counter trend 2. So after 3 movements, we go down again with another impulse, and that's how the market moves. ABC, impulse, ABC, impulse. And we can understand if a price is corrective or impulsive by watching their angle. For example, in this zone, we are watching a corrective wave because it's going lateral. And in this angle, we are watching an impulsive movement because it's going up or it's going down. And these are the only 3 rules that you need to learn and that actually matter in any analysis that you do. And it has to do with impulse movements. For example, 1 is impulsive. If 2 returns more than 100%, then 1 is not an impulse. So the first rule is wave 2 never returns 100% of wave 1. The second rule is the wave 3 is never the shortest. If we have a movement like this cannot be 3 because it's too small compared to the other wave 1 and wave 5. In this case, we can consider this to be our wave A, B, and C to go down for a new low. That's the difference. If it's like this, it may do ABC but break a new high, and it came down for a movement like that. So that's one of the main rules that we sometimes forget. The wave 3 cannot be the shortest. And the other rule is the wave 4 never enters territory of wave 1. This cannot go inside of wave 1. If that happens, we are watching at something else, like the example I gave above. It's inside. So it may be something, but not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but A, B, and C. This is A, this is B, this is C, this is A, this is B, this is C, with a running flat inside of B. And that means it's going to go down again. So this is the only 3 basic rules that you need to learn to identify if the movement is impulsive. Later on, we have many guidelines that you can use to make your trades even better. But be alert that they are only guidelines. That means that they don't always happen. They happen sometimes. For example, getting a leading diagonal at wave 1. Sometimes it shows up. Sometimes it doesn't. Wave 2 is always a flat or zigzag, never a triangle. If you see a triangle in wave 2, then you are watching at wave B or 4. But it never returns 100%. It may return 618 or 382 depending on the pattern. So that's a guideline, how much it returns. The wave tree can be extended, but that is just a guideline. It's not something that always happens. You can have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inside the end of 3 you can have an ending diagonal, and the end of 3 you can have another ending diagonal, but that is just a guideline. It may show up or it may not. And the same goes for the retracement level of wave 4. It may return to 382 from the length of 0 to 3. But that is a guideline also, so never expect this to be very precise. It may arrive a little close and then go up. It may go to 0.5 and then go up, as it may also go 618. But that depends if one is lower than that. So you have to be careful with the rules. These cannot be broken. If they are, then you are looking at something else. And guidelines, they can happen, but they are not rules. And because of these rules is that we have this setup. Once wave 2 goes below our stop loss, that means this is not impulsive, it's corrective, and it's invalid. That's when we are wrong. That's the main reason this rule is the most important. And the wave tree usually is the fastest and longest. That's why we want to trade this one. And we are searching for these points for take profit. And what about different wave degrees? What does it mean? It means that inside one movement we have 5 movements. Inside of one we have 3. And inside of these 5 we can have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what we call degrees. Patterns inside patterns, movements inside movements, fractals. And one thing about wave degrees is the size. The bigger the wave degree, the bigger the formation you're going to see. But smaller degrees will get the same patterns but smaller. It takes less time, less price range, and it looks smaller. So when you see a small pattern like an ending diagonal, it may not be the end of all the trend, but just the end of wave 3, or maybe wave 3 inside of wave 3. So be careful with sizes when you are watching corrective patterns. As you can see, we have many cycles that can start and end, and it can be very tedious to know where we are right now. The only thing that it matters is what is the main trend. If the main trend is a bull market, you want to buy at every bottom as possible, and you have more opportunities of getting it right than trying to short the top. So basically just follow the trend, mark your channel, know where the price is going, and when there is a break below it, you know that maybe ABC is coming down at least 3 movements. In this case, this is a zigzag to continue its way up. And that's basically it for this video. I only wanted to explain the difference between a corrective and impulsive movement and where do they happen inside a market. Please be alert that the angle can help you if the price is moving sideways or the movement is actually going up or down. When you're inside a cycle, you know that you can see many patterns inside another one. Like for example, the B of a zigzag can be a triangle. Something like this. A, B, and C. And you have a triangle here. And then it goes up. And that's it. That's basically all I wanted to say in this video. Is that you have to first identify an impulse and then try to identify the corrective movement. Never operate inside an impulse. Wait for the corrective wave to almost be finished, and when it's done, that's when you want to get in. You never get inside of an impulse. You try to get at the end of a corrective movement and then get out. Wait for the next pattern to complete and then you get in again, and so on. That's it for this video. Hopefully you understand the difference between impulsive or corrective movements and the importance of the 3 basic rules that you need to learn so that you can identify properly a movement that is progressive and not corrective.